Hi everyone, and welcome back to another fun video on our channel, Get Crafty with DEK. Today I'm going to be showing you how to finger knit with this thick, bulky yarn. I believe it is called a jumbo size or jumbo weight. So, this is not finger knitting as in our Good Yarn with Carissa videos that Carissa has been doing. This is finger knitting using a different type of method. We are going to be finger knitting using loops, and this activity requires no experience of knitting, crocheting, or even just finger knitting. We're not going to be weaving the yarn through our fingers, anything like that. We're just going to be forming loops, pulling out new yarn to make new loops, and then that's how we're going to make our fun finger knitted fabric. So, we have this yarn, and I'm going to be showing you how to finger knit using just a small sample, but the first thing you're going to do is just get a ball of this jumbo size yarn. The yarn I'll be using in this tutorial for my sample size is Loops and Threads chenille, fluffy chenille. This is a jumbo number 7 weight, and it is 100% polyester. So go ahead and get yourself a medium-sized ball of this yarn. I've already pulled it out from the skein and wound it into a ball, so it's a bit easier to finger knit with. And then to get started, I like to unravel a big piece and set it aside in a pile. And that way it'll be a bit easier for me to start finger knitting with. So I've got my pile of yarn off to the side, and I'll put it on the left side right now. So the first thing we need to do is make a slip knot. So with your yarn, you're just going to gauge around 3 to 4 fingers, or 1.5 to 2 inches, and make a loop, just like this. And then you'll pull the tail end right through the loop, just like this, and pull down on that tail. So now you have the short tail, your slip knot, and the tail which is attached to your ball of yarn. So for reference, my loops are going to be, about 2 inches tall, and it doesn't matter the base, but for reference, my base is about 7.75 inches. So that is how big we are going to keep our loops for the entirety of our finger knit project. So go ahead and put 2, 3 fingers through the loop, whatever feels more comfortable, and pull out a loop just like this. Pull out a loop. If you do have needle crochet experience, you would call this a chain, and then keep doing that. I like to pull 3 fingers through to make my chain. And again, this is my pile of yarn here, and keep pulling that yarn through to make a chain. My chains are about 2 inches in length, so I'm going to keep that size even for the rest of this tutorial. So for reference, right here I've made several chains, and it doesn't matter if this is your first time finger knitting. You just want to do something easy for you, something simple. It doesn't need to be a whole project. So at this point, we can move our pile and our ball of yarn off to the right side. Now, don't be afraid if you think the loop is going to come out. The loops are not going to come out. So this loop now we're going to pull it so it's kind of facing upwards in front of us, alright? We're going to grab the yarn again. We can pull it off to the left side. There's a lot of switching sides in this process, but you'll get used to it. Now we're going to bring the yarn behind our work. And I know this yarn is super fuzzy. It's polyester, so it's super hard to see your chains. But you're going to pull your tail. So this is the loop that you just made. You're going to pull it off to the side like this. And you can make that a bit smaller here. And you're going to take your yarn, take your finger, and pull out a new loop. Okay, so, that yarn, that was a bit too big. Make it a teeny bit smaller. You don't want to make it too big. So I'm going to grab the yarn and then pull out a loop from the top of that chain. And it may be hard to recognize, but you just don't want to go in the bottom part. You don't want to go in any of these bottom parts. You want to go in the top part. So it's super hard to see. Let me show you though. like this top part, any of these top loops are the ones you want to go into. So move on to the next loop. The yarn's behind the work, and you're going to pull the yarn through to make another loop, and then set it on the table in front of you. And then continue to do that all the way down the work, just like this. I'm just pulling the yarn all the way through to make a loop. Again, my loops gauged are about 2 inches high, and like I said, about 3/4 of an inch at the base. So keep your loops the same size as much as you can. Finish your row, and when you get to the end of the row, it should look like this. You've got a base. Now let's move on to our second row. Now the yarn is going to be needing to come the opposite way. It's going to loop around, okay? So if it helps, you can lay the entire strand of yarn under your loop, just like this. Now you're going to pull the yarn through each loop, and it's a bit easier if you do it this way, because with this method, your loops are already established, and they're right in front of your working active yarn. So go ahead and pull a loop through each active loop that you're working with here, and you will have the same number of loops. If you are a beginner, it would be helpful if you could count these loops. So remember how many chains you started with and how many loops you have currently. Unravel a bit more yarn, that's why it's helpful, so you don't need to keep unraveling your ball. And we're going to move the working yarn to the other side of our work. So now it should be pointing towards the left side, okay? And again, I'm going to lay my yarn under all of my active loops just like this. And then now I can go ahead and pull through a loop of yarn on each tail. These loop here. Not tail, these would be loops. Again, keep them the same size. If this is your first time finger knitting, it may be confusing and hard because you have to keep the loops the same size. If you don't, what's going to happen is you're going to end up with gaps between your work. And you will always have loops, but you can only get those loops easy if you kind of pull it apart. You can see this part was a little bit looser, not my favorite. But you just don't want to be pulling way too tight with your yarn, but you don't want to make the loops incredibly giant. Like this was way too big. Okay? And again, keep on gauging with your loops, your fingers. You can use 3, 4 fingers to get these size loops that you want. Just make sure you are going to be keeping that same size once again. Okay, so we're going to continue to pull another loop. Always go with that, start with that first loop of the row, and then continue working. Don't miss that very last loop. I find a lot of beginners struggle with finding that last loop, and that can be incredibly difficult because it's kind of on the side here. Do you see in these first few rows it's hard to keep track of your loops. So just be careful and go slow. Okay? You see my loops are getting a little bit smaller, so I'm going to try to keep that tension the same. Let's do one more row together, and then I'll show you how to cast off. So once again, we're pulling the yarn through. At this point, because this is not my first time finger knitting, I'm not going to be laying my loops over my yarn, but if it helps you, then continue to do that. It can be helpful. And this is a plain knit stitch, just letting you know. There is a purl stitch in this finger knitting, but this is a basic knit stitch. So now I've got like 4 rows, and I have this like lovely, soft, squishy fabric. So to cast off, we need to start with one more row. This row, you're going to need a little bit more yarn, so go ahead and unravel that. And you're going to do the same thing, but you're going to pull the loops up. 1.5 to 2 times the size of your normal loop size. So this loop is about a pretty big size loop. You want to get a giant, pretty big loop. Okay, and I'll show you why you need these oversized loops. And do that with each of your active stitches. Again, your active stitches are the ones that are currently on the table. So do that and make your loops bigger than usual, okay? So now we've got these pretty big loops. We're going to start on the end. So we have this tail. If you are following me, your tail is going to be coming off to the right side of your work, and these, your fully formed loops, are going to be all over here, okay? So we're going to start with the left side of our work. We're going to put your fingers through, and as a side note, I like to make my ending and my starting and ending chains at each end of my work slightly looser. It keeps everything super neat, and it also will make the ends not get scrunched up and ruched together. You don't want that to happen. So what happens is I like to get a slightly bigger loop here on my left and right sides, and I'll show you how that turns out and why I like to do that. So with my loop starting at the very left, the yarn is not coming out to this side. We're going to just grab the loop and pull it through the next loop. It's going to be on the right side. Do that again. Take the loop, pull it through the next loop. Take the loop, pull it through the next loop, and do that all the way down your work. What this does is it forms a really neat and pretty cast-off edge, and it has this fun ridge, and this matches the cast on. Okay, so now we're at the end. I just finished. I just pulled through the loop, and as you can see, this kind of mimics the cast-off edge if you know knitting or crochet. You've got these V's, and that's what you want. You want each of those V's. That's part of your cast-off edge. Okay, so now we have this little loop, and we still have the tail attached to our ball. I did not use all of it. So now what you're going to do is take this loop, this final loop, and put it through your yarn, just like this. And then what you would do is use your scissors, and you would cut the yarn, and then you would have that end, and you would just pull it through and out. Now the reason why I'm not doing this in this video is because I'm going to just be using this yarn for something else, a future project. I just use this yarn to make a small sample size for you to see, and this is how you would start finger knitting. And that would be your project. So that's it. That's all there is to finger knitting. And then for the ends, you want to just use your fingers and weave them in. So I take the ends in the back and pull it through, and then I might make like a knot. Like I might take this tail, leave a loop, and pull it through, and that would be like a little knot, right? So that's how you would weave in your ends. Just hand sew them into your work. Now finger knitting is super easy. Like I said, this stitch I taught you is a knit stitch, and the front of your work is going to be filled with all these little V's, little valleys in between. The back is purl, so this is basically standard stockinette stitch in knitting terminology. This is what it would look like. The back has bumps. These would be purls, and the front would be V's. These are knits. So we've got two types of stitches going on here, and that is how you finger knit. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and be sure to click the link I am going to be putting in the description box below. I'm going to put two links. One is going to be lead you to our website, and if you haven't heard about that, we would love for you to check it out. And the second link is going to be a link that will lead you to sign up for our newsletter, to subscribe to our newsletter. And that we are very glad that you will be joining us on our crafting journey. Be sure to subscribe and stick around. We would love to have you here with us, and keep on creating and making and creating lots of fun crafts. We've got lots of craft tutorials, like I said, on our YouTube channel, Get Crafty with DBK. We have a variety of craft projects, including finger knitting, and finger knitting, Yarn with Carissa. That's our playlist. Go check that out. We are using a little bit more standard yarn, and it's kind of more designed for kids, um, and it's kind of like the weaving around your fingers. That's what we are talking about. So if you want to check that out, that would be great. And make sure to sign up for the newsletter. We will share a newsletter monthly. The time this video is coming out, our newsletter just came out today. So feel free to go check that out, subscribe, and we hope you will stick around. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you have lots of fun finger knitting, and your first project is not going to be perfect. So that's why you have to keep persevering and keep trying and practicing, and you will get it. Watch this video on slow speed with the YouTube setting if that helps. But if you get it, that's great. I hope you have lots of fun finger knitting and enjoy your projects. So, like and subscribe to this video if you liked it, and make sure to check out our channel, Get Crafty with DVK. And I'll link the yarn that I use in the description box below, and some other varieties of yarn that you can use that are a kind of substitution for this if you don't have this yarn. So go ahead and check that out, like and subscribe like I said, and we will see you next time on our channel, Get Crafty with DVK. Have fun finger knitting, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye!